G'day, welcome to the garage, and as you can see we've doubled down today. Two cars, the CUPRA Leon Sportstourer and the Formentor. They've both been facelifted and upgraded and all sorts, but doubling down on cars means we need to double down on drivers, and we wanted to get someone properly talented, as he'll tell you, unlike myself. So it's my pleasure to welcome to the garage for the first time, and I'm properly excited by this. Greg Murphy, come on in, buddy.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for the invite.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes, it is great to have you here. And you're not just here because you're one of New Zealand's best ever drivers. You're here because this is your car.
Yeah, I've been a fan for quite some time. I mean, they stand out, right? CUPRA have built cars that stand out through their design. And then you understand, what's underneath the skin and where all the drivetrain, everything comes from, which is from the VW family. The Golf R effectively is underneath this. And this is a quality vehicle and it's got performance. And there's something about the enjoyment of driving one of these. So I've got one in the garage now and I absolutely love it.
They're about as fashionable as a car brand gets.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And I've had my eye on CUPRA now for a little while, and that's why I wanted to have one of these in the garage. And this is my car that we have at home there in Hawke's Bay. And it's an inspiring little vehicle. It really, really is. They've done such an amazing job, CUPRA, of creating a point of difference, haven't they, with their design, and they stand out. And there's so much to talk about CUPRA to everyone watching.
I'm going to say though, that you may have all the go, but the Sportstourer, the Leon, is actually cooler, and I'll tell you why. It's a sporty wagon. The coolest Audis are the RS Avants, the wagons, and this captures that. So I think this is the cooler car here. So I'm going to say I might not be as quick, but I'm cooler. Okay,
I'm not going to get into an argument with you about this because I'm a fan anyway. Yeah. But you're right, there's something about a cool tourer, right? And that's what this is without a doubt. And in the VZ version with the horsepower, it's alive, that car. And there's something about, again, being in a car. We reference SUVs and we call them cars, well they're not. That is a car. It's low to the ground, it's got the platform of a car, and there's a joy getting back in one after driving lots of large SUV style
See me
cars.
smiling?
Exactly.
You're just saying I'm right.
Well, I'm agreeing.
In 30 years of knowing each other, it's the first time.
Probably, but I'm also now going to come back to this, because this is not an SUV, this is a CUV. It's a coupe utility vehicle, and that's why
I worried where you headed there.
I believe it's a little bit cooler because it actually is. It's making its own pathway. There's not really anything in this, that competes with the Formentor VZ. It is just something quite special, and when you are in it, you realise you're in something that's different.
And look, I'm not going to argue too, because when the Formentor first came out, just a blast. It looks cool, it feels cool to be in, and that's another thing as well. And you'll see that when we drive these cars. How a car feels from behind the wheel is really important too. You're going to see some of the detail. But before we drive, there's the other thing too. It is the coolest badge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Transformer badge.
Yes.
Yeah, and I shouldn't rub it like that. Yeah.
But you did, you can't help it. Anyway, both to you, Murph, and to you, welcome to the garage.
Subscribe to see the first drives of New Zealand's newest and best cars driven on New Zealand roads and New Zealand conditions.
Now, just a few weeks back, we were left properly impressed by the new Terramar, but 2025 is a big year for CUPRA. We're going to have the Tavascan EV later on, and then there's these two new cars.
So yes, this is the facelifted, updated, whatever you want to say about it, Formentor VZ, and Sean is in the Sportstourer, the Leon V.
And what the Leon does deliver, and that's just not a station wagon joke, Sportstourer, is value. But even if it was the VZ, the reality is Murph would still have braking rights.
Yeah, so for me, the Formentor VZ does remain king of the CUPRA castle with its 420 Newton meters of torque versus the 400 for the Leon VZ. And for me, obviously that makes a big difference, 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds, both cars. But this one's just a little bit faster, a tenth faster, which in my world, it's everything.
There's one other key difference between V and VZ, and that's V is front wheel drive only. But CUPRA have come to the party. They are CUPRA after all. There's a sporty flavour. So there's an XDS electronic locking front diff, and that means this car stays pointy, it banishes understeer and lets you put the power down.
So 87,500 for this car, and you've got to remember that you're getting the VW Golf R drivetrain in here, 4-wheel drive, which keeps this thing planted to the road, and obviously in that acceleration stakes puts all the power to the ground using all 4 tyres, which is actually quite exhilarating.
And you can find out more about the new CUPRA Formentor and Leon Sportstourer at Giltrap.com. It's home to more than 1,000 of the world's best cars, where you can browse, compare, finance and purchase all online.
Anyway, Murph, let's leave the powertrains aside. You win there. Let's talk about the facelift, and you could say, especially the Formentor, has really got some teeth.
Yeah, and super aggressive styling, which is the CUPRA thing, really is a standout thing that these designers have done for this brand. And the triangular lights is a real standout, and that's something we first saw there on the new Terramar as well.
Actually, funny you should mention the Terramar, Murph, because one of the inspirations for the styling of that car was a shark. And if you look closely at the front of your car, you can see it. In fact, it looks a bit bronze whaler.
It's not bronze. CUPRA is all about copper, and there's lots of little copper tinges all over this car, which really make it stand out, and it creates a character. And I find that that's really important to me. It's important to a lot of people, but that's what this car does, and that's something you've really got to get in it to experience. It has so much character, so many aspects of it are enjoyable and actually a lot of fun and make you feel good when you're driving it.
Well, speaking of big, the Sportstourer is a station wagon after all. Let's not beat around the bush here. And that means you do get the space in the back, 650 litres, and fold the seats down, you get 1,450, which is more than the Formentor. Something else too, it's a longer wheelbase, so for the passengers in the back, there's extra room.
So Shawnee gets a little bit of a win there, but you know, it's pretty close. 450 litres and then 1,415 with the seats down. You know, it's just line ball. I wouldn't really get too caught up in that. Both cars get a brand new 12.9 touchscreen, which is quite spectacular, and all the latest in wireless charging and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Now, VZ and V are not hybrid. There is, though, a hybrid version of the Formentor called the VZE. Today, though, strictly internal combustion, which I know pleases Murph no end. But there are still eco-credentials. The seats in Murph's car use Dynamica, which is 75% recycled microfiber. It's like a sort of a Alcantara fabric, very cool. And these floor mats in the Leon use Econa, which is sort of reconstructed nylon, again, recycled.
Now there's plenty of tech straight ahead of you in the dash as well, and the best part of that for me is the G meter, which shows you your acceleration and lateral G forces going around the corners, amongst a whole lot of other amazing stuff right there on your fingertips on the steering wheel. And also right there on the tip of my thumb is the CUPRA drive button. Changes the personality of this car, and there's plenty of personality to explore. Also, this one, the soundtrack that I have is due to the Akrapovic exhaust system. So when you do put it in CUPRA mode, things do get a little bit tasty out the back. And more on the lights, it's a great light show out the back, which obviously you can't see when you're driving, but for those behind you, that infinity light, super cool. And also tasty in here is the Sennheiser audio system, which once cranked up is pretty spectacular as well.
So if this is a competition, and with Greg everything is, look, the Formentor wins. It's more powerful, it's taller, and it sounds better. But you know, I tell you what, this Leon in V-spec, the value is unbeatable, and it does edge out the Formentor when it comes to space.
Now, it can be quite difficult to pick a favourite, and I am quite a hard taskmaster when it comes to cars and being impressed. But I can tell you, I am super impressed with this Formentor VZ. It has personality, right? It has class. It has excitement built into it. It has performance. It's got all the traits. And I tell you, when I'm driving it, it makes me feel good. Now, isn't that important when it comes to spending time in a vehicle and owning a vehicle? You should enjoy it. And this car is easy to enjoy.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Murph, but I'm going to say something else. There is still nothing for me cooler than a sports wagon like this Leon. And if this was a VZ, it would be a different story. But if I have one last thought, it's that I'm not surprised by how these cars go. CUPRA, well, they do something really cool. They look fun and they are fun to drive. You can't ask much more than that.